I've actually half considered giving away the bike and not riding anymore.
Why?
And you know how I ride. I'm probably the slowest rider on the road most of the time.
No, you're one of the most sensible, law-abiding citizens I've ever met in my life.
But you know what recently happened?
What?
I got 7 demerit points and a $1,600 fine.
How? Say that again?
7 demerit points.
7 demerit points.
And a $1,600 fine.
What did you do? Did you kill someone?
I overtook a horse trailer.
7 demerit points and a $1,600 fine for overtaking a horse trailer.
Look at that. See the flowers over there?
Hey?
There's always flowers there. You know what I've noticed?
No.
Is I've never seen a speed camera in an area where people have died.
Yeah, and that's where they should be.
Yeah. You know where they do put speed cameras?
Where they're going to make money.
Yeah. Where they can catch people out.
Yeah.
Quite often they'll put a speed camera where the speed limit changes. So
That's right.
When it's been 80 and it changes down to 60.
And what I find annoying is they'll have one speed sign, and if you miss that speed sign, there's not another one for a very, very long time. And I think that's unfair. And if you turn onto a road, technically there should be a speed sign on the road that you're turning into, and that's often not the case.
Yeah.
I actually would love to make a political party called the Signpost Party, and then I would put a speed limit sign every 4th or 5th Stobie pole or power pole. And then if people speed, they really don't have an excuse because it's well signposted.
Yeah. Oh,
but if there's
that was
no
a GSX 1250. That was Mike's bike.
No, you're on your bike.
Oh.
That's his bike, Chris.
Okay.
Really?
Oh, that's right, I am too.
Don't be greedy. You've got one. You're on it. Yes, I think the one on my handlebars is getting a bit fogulated. Is that a word?
Ovulating?
Fogulated. Meaning it looks a bit foggy.
I thought that meant when something about the ovaries or something.
Yes.
Yeah, they're getting sneaky with the cameras.
Yes, very sneaky. I mean, I have seen them on the side of the road on a tripod with camouflage material over them.
Yeah.
Evidently they put them in a normal rubbish bin and they put a little hole in them.
Yeah.
And they're hidden in there.
Okay, now this is the road.
So this road is one of Chris's most favourite roads of all. Well, it used to be.
Well, you notice one thing here. Look at the centre line.
Yes.
It's a solid line for 7 kilometres. And my first mistake that fateful day was I saw a truck pulling a horse float behind it, and I still came down here thinking, oh, I'll overtake him fairly soon. But, you know, being Mr. Goody Two-Shoes, I saw there was no opportunity because it's a solid line, so I patiently stayed behind this horse float for 7 kilometres.
And I think the issue with roads like this is there is nowhere to overtake. And the trouble is, particularly with this road, I think there's only 2 areas where you can overtake.
Yeah.
And typically, whether you're on a bike or in a car, to overtake someone you increase your speed. And so that you're not on the wrong side of the road for too long, typically we all tend to put our foot down or twist the wrist, and we exceed the speed limit while we're passing the car. And what's very particularly frustrating about Chris's story is they know that's where people wait to overtake, and they have the camera in that area to catch people overtaking, and I find that that's a bit of a revenue collecting activity. Is that the way to put it?
Yeah.
We really do ride sensibly 99.8% of the time. We really do. We're law-abiding people, we're not hoons. And just to overtake a car and get picked up with was it a hidden camera?
I saw a car on the side of the road, so
Okay,
and that's just as I was overtaking, but it was right at the spot where people would overtake, so
Yeah.
they were clearly targeting that.
Now Chris to overtake this vehicle did speed, and he's got no argument with that. He did go more than the speed limit, but it was just to get past in a safe time. And because there's the places to overtake here are just so limited, he wanted to do it as quickly and as safely as possible.
Even here, you can see up the road, so I could potentially overtake here, but it's illegal.
Yeah, so we don't.
So we don't, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I caught it on the chin that yes, I was speeding, and I would have accepted a fine and demerit points. It's just the extent of it.
It's a big money for a lot of people.
Yeah.
$1,600.
Yeah. And then 7 demerit points on top of that. And that's for 3 years. So I think it's just coming up here. So I was really patiently waiting, and there, see, safe place to overtake.
Just here, yeah.
Safe place. There's no oncoming traffic. Right here where the driveway is, that's where the speed camera was. Right at the spot where I was at my maximum speed. So I didn't know how fast I was going at the time. I was just concentrating on
getting past safely.
Yeah, getting past safely and quickly. So, and then after I passed, I went back to the speed limit. But so I was a bit shocked that I was going over 120 kilometers an hour.
But both these bikes are very big, powerful machines, and to get to that speed is incredibly easy. In such a short amount of time. So and I know if I was riding with you, I would have done the same. And I know I've overtaken a number of times, and I bet I've sped before overtaking, and I know nearly every rider or vehicle driver on the road has done that. So I'm not sure how you're meant to overtake someone safely without speeding, unless they're doing like 20 kilometers an hour. So even at this speed limit here is 80 kilometers, and if that car, and some of them quite often will do 60 kilometers an hour, you still need to get a move on to get past those people. So you don't want to be stuck out in the other side. This is the only other place you can overtake, just there.
Yeah, it's very short.
And that's very short, and it's just near the crest of a hill where you don't know what's coming over that hill just there. So you want to get in quickly.
You know, the irony of this was, like, right at the start of the road, there's a big long sweeping bend. You can actually see across to the other side, across a field. So it would have been, I actually thought about overtaking there, and it would have been completely safe to do so. But it would have been illegal.
Where it was a double line?
Yeah, where it was a solid line.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have been caught speeding. I know people have been caught overtaking on a double line, and I'm sure that the penalty wasn't like what you got.
Probably in my life I've got maybe 3 or 4 speeding tickets, all on my motorcycle. The previous times was only just over the limit, so it was a very, comparatively a very much smaller fine. But this is the first time I've really felt hard done by. But it's actually changed my attitude towards police a bit. But I don't know, if anybody out there can correct me, but perhaps it wasn't the police that does this. Maybe it's outsourced to a private company or some different division, I don't know. I know there was a story on Channel 7 recently where there was a private citizen filming the camera car, and the worker inside the camera car felt intimidated by this person filming them. I don't know. There's a lot of irony there, I think, because if you got this undercover car, just purely there as a, if it's a private company, it'll be a profit-making business, and their motivation is to raise, to fine as many people as they can. And this comes to my main point: is, are these cameras safety cameras or not?
Look, I think, in my humble opinion, I really believe that they rely heavily on the revenue that's produced by these cameras. I really do.
And look here.
Oh, and here we go. Here's police just.
There you go.
Sitting there. I don't know if they had a speed camera there, but this isn't a particularly dangerous road. But I know people have been caught on roads coming into Strathalbyn just after the 50k speed sign.
Well, that's...
And they've come from 80, they're going into 50, and it takes them a little while for them to slow down, and it's just after the 50 sign, and they might be still around the 80 mark, and that's a big fine. That's a revenue collecting activity, in my opinion. I don't have anything against speed cameras if they're in an area where there is an issue with speeding people, a huge problem, or where a number of people have lost their lives, and they really are trying to.
Look, I've been caught on a speed camera going through lights, and that's probably not a. I'm not upset about that because it has modified my behaviour, and I am more cautious around intersections where there are lights now.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, an intersection, really there's no excuse to speed or run the red light, but I've seen that increasing dramatically. Lots of people going through red lights. Shall we go to the old part of town?
Yeah. And
I sometimes get a bit over people wanting to talk to us and get our autographs,
We'll go somewhere quiet where people can't recognise us.
Yeah. I'm thinking of shaving my head and growing a beard.
Oh, it's the price of fame. Small
Well,
price to pay.
let us know your opinion, guys. Is there any excuse for speeding? Is what we've talked about fair? How do you overtake someone without speeding? So, you know.
Sometimes you do need to get out of trouble by just,
Yeah. And we're not advocates for speeding at all. Both of us are very law-abiding citizens. We really are. Thanks for joining us, guys. See you next time. Thanks, Chris.